Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. And we're having coffee in my beautiful mandala mug. And on the back, it says thankful. And boy, am I. I had an amazing community ed class last night, in spite of the fact that their printing problems made it so some people didn't even get the mailer, and some of them got them yesterday. So it wasn't as full as it normally is, but it was very adequate, a number of people, because, time is the only thing we can't replace. So it's always they offered us the ability to cancel this class and schedule it later. Great morning, Susan. And I chose not to, and it was 18 people and 18 people ready to start their unfoldment, their healing, their growth, and stepping into the truth of their power, which is what that class is about. Good morning. Oh, wow. So much energy right now. There's several retrogrades, which honestly, I didn't know till after we were in several retrogrades. Uh, I tend not to pay attention to that a lot, but sometimes you're kind of forced to. Retrogrades will cause some glitches in technology and other things. I have noticed people a little more aggressive on the road. People are just kind of on edge right now. And so keep that in mind. If you're a commuter, shed love on the people around you as you're driving. No downside to that, is always an upside to use that love tool. So, the theme for today, the message is to dig deep. Now is the time. And the theme came from the Wild Woman Rising deck. I love it. Look at that. Look at that determination, that focus. And that's really what we need right now. It's what we want to enact as we walk through this world, because we have a lot to do. I can't find the deck. Oh, there it is. We have a lot to do. And there's a lot of energy right now coming up to the old stuff, the belief systems about what we are and are not capable of, what we can and cannot do. These old things that try to remind us who we've believed ourselves to be in life that really wasn't productive, wasn't true. Socialization from so many different areas. So it's time to dig deep and look at these things, clear them, release them. If you don't know how to do that, find an energy worker, an energy healer somewhere to help you pull these things from your physical, from your emotional, from your mental, because we are all of those. And it is time, because the next card that came up was the sun, but it came up in reverse. The sun is a very high vibe card. And when it comes in reverse, it's telling us there's something blocking our creativity. There's something threatening to stand in our way, or we're focusing too much on the clouds, all that is not happening. Maybe the overwhelm. Personally, I have been busier the last, well, pretty much since March, but incredibly busy for the last month in this working of this summit that's I'm presenting on September 25th. And I haven't been this focusedly busy in a very long time. And truly, I went through 5 years of just being able to do the bare minimum to keep myself out there, keep myself in business, do that kind of thing. And so now it's like, last November, I started feeling like myself again, where I had motivation, I had impetus. And that's really what I didn't have much of for the 5 years I went through that soul voyage, the clearing of so much energy and the awareness of who I really am. And so as I stepped into the newness or the return of who I am, um, again, the ability to do more and handle more increased. But this was like when I used to work a couple jobs, and I've been used to having downtime and just playtime and breaks between things. And now it's time. I mean, I've asked for this, it has come, and now it's time to work, to really dive in and keep the momentum and keep putting out what the world needs from me. That's my responsibility. You have the thing or things that the world needs from you too. And so it's dig deep times so that we are focusing more on this upright position of the sun rather than allowing things to stand in our way. This is telling us that the creative process has been blocked a bit, whether it's inside. And I would venture to say for all of you watching this that would tune into this, this is an inside job right now. It is our old beliefs, patterns, habits of thoughts, ways that we have traveled in the world that are falling away and needing to be looked at so they can be released. The next card that came up was cycles. And just know that this crap that you're tuning into, like we all do, is just a cycle. It is, we have the ups and downs, in the nursing profession, when we talk to our patients about healing, anywhere, but, specifically in the hospital, because they're going home to do a majority of their healing. We talk to them about that cycle, the up and down. Healing isn't from here to here. It is, you get, oh, it's like, oh, yeah, now I'm good. And the next day, it's like, oh, gosh, this really hurts today. I thought I was done. And then you just keep going up. Your focus is what makes it happen more quickly. The focus on the sunshine, the focus on the high vibe, the creative aspect that we have fuel for. Stop your focus on the clouds. Be intentional about it. Those mean thoughts. We talked a lot in the class last night about the mean girl, the mean guy coming in. And it was that really mean person and that one that keeps reminding us of who we're not, what we can't do, all of that stuff that we no longer want to focus on because it just stops us, and it's all a lie. And so what is it? I'm too old. I have a hard time with technology. That's been one with me. So I hired a VA. I finally took the leap. And it was really because I took another leap earlier in spring to bring on some coaches that led me to, I didn't even know how to tell a VA what to do. I really didn't know what a VA did and what was capable. I just knew I needed help. I don't need to learn all the technology, but I did need to find someone who could do that part so that I don't have to, and I can relax and know that things are getting done the way they need to. And even more than that, this VA is positioning me in a place that I really wanted to be in, but that's not even the focus I gave them at the time. It was more something else. So when you are open, willing, and ready to be guided, the teachers will come, the ideas will come, the group coaching opportunities will come. There are some very inexpensive things that you can take part in if finances is an issue. And if you're a way shower, healer, and intuitive, a light worker, someone already in this kind of aspect, finances usually come up because we've been told that for our gifts, we don't have the right to be paid. And I beg to differ because here's the truth. I'm a damn good nurse. That's a gift. It doesn't just happen for everybody that goes through nursing school. It's a focus, it's an intention, it's a calling. And so for, in the world's view, it's like, it's okay that I get paid to be a nurse, but people have issue with us getting paid for our gifts, which in my opinion are so much more powerful and an amazing thing. And when you agree to employ someone for their gifts and they're giving you their time, your job is to compensate them for that which you cannot replace, which is their time. So consider where you stand on that. And we talked a very little bit last night about money and how we view it and how we viewed the people with money, all this socialization around money it's just bullshit. And it keeps us unempowered because when we, the light workers, way showers, lovers of humanity, have extra money, have a lot of extra money, become rich, become wealthy, a lot of good shit happens in the world because of that. It doesn't have to change you. You get to be the driver in all of this, all of what you're doing. You no longer have to sit under the circumstances. One way to really help yourself in all of this area is the community that you are a part of. What, where, how, when can you become part of a community that's going to help you expand, that's going to support you in your journey? We in this valley where I live, this and online too, are growing communities of people in this vein of light workers, way showers, shamanic healers, sound healers, all of this. We're growing community to support one another. We are coming from out of this place of competition because there is no competition. Those who need me won't see you. Those who need you won't see me. But you have to show up. They have to find you. And that's what this whole digging deep and finding out what is standing in your way so that you're here and those who need you can't see you. So it is time to dig deep. It is time to look at the focus you've had that has kept you playing small. Community is a great way to do that, to support one another. And the star is the next one that came up. And look at her. She is free flowing. Her hair is free flowing. Her hands are reaching out in blessing. She is the center of this cosmic universe. The star is that feminine energy of power and ease and joy. I want to look at that closer. Mythical Goddess Tarot, XVII. Okay. The Pleiadian star goddess is the very essence of beauty and inspiration. And that's what this community can offer. In community gatherings, you will receive, just in the listening to conversations or being involved in conversations, the inspiration you need to show up in your fullest power that you are able to access right at this moment. Not at the end point, because there is no end point. It is this right now that is going to put you to the next step and a greater unfoldment, a greater awareness. One of the people I love and work with and visit with has a business that is totally not in the healer, energetic, whatever aspect. They are a freaking light and they're in another business. And it's like, that's perfect because they're a light in that business, shedding it, their joy, their high vibeness, all of that into that world. They don't have to be this woo spiritualist, sitting there in a yogi position with whatever. They get to shine in that, and you do too, regardless of what you're doing now. It is your intention to be that light. Her celestial compassion is here to awaken your heart to ascend to your highest stellar path on earth. And that's, again, back to the theme of today's reading. Dig deep, because your joy, your passion, look at that beautiful, beautiful focus, power in the wild woman is there for you to access now. And being part of a community, if you don't have a community in your area, post in your neighborhood, post in your city, post in wherever, and create one yourself. It can be online. Online is very powerful. And that really was the best gift from COVID that I can see. It connected us online, and energy is boundless. It doesn't matter if we're in Zoom, here, wherever, we can connect. But if you can get in person, that's even more enjoyable. That's that physical aspect of life, aligning with others of like-mindedness. Because here is the truth. You have been, this is the garden and the gate. Look at that. All this expansiveness outside, even though the gate is beautiful, it is. Okay, I'm sorry. I just got a text that we will see. Uh, sorry. Anyway, it's because my computer is not a touchscreen. The garden and the gate. She is standing behind it, looking very kind of fearful, hesitant, doubtful about going through that gate. Because this is the truth. We are in a time of initiation. Mary Magdalene, we got this card the other day. It is a reminder that we are in this time of newness within ourselves. Don't hold yourself behind that gate. It is time to dig deep, go through that gate, be willing to show up in the world. And that can be very, very scary for some of us way showers that have been here before and been persecuted. And in this life, many of us came in willing to be whatever anybody wanted us to be, because we came in with a heavy energy and came into a lot of crap in life, as many of us did. And that's not what we're focusing on today. What we're focusing on is moving past that, opening that gate, going, I'm going to take that one step out there, and I'm open, willing, and ready to be guided. And if you feel fearful about what people are going to say in this lifetime, the socialization is those of us who are the fairy energy, the light workers, the Pollyannas, the one who, choose to continue to see the bright side of things. We're crazy, we're idiots, we're too high vibe, we're just not down into the reality of life and all of that. And it is time that we stop accepting the opinion of others. Their business of us is not, or their opinion of us is not our business. And that it's easier said than done. When I remember as a younger woman, somebody, I don't know, along the way, well, what do you want? Maybe it was me. Maybe it was my angels, just going, well, what do you want in life? It's like, I don't know what I want. I don't even know who I am, because I spent most of my life being whatever anyone else needed or wanted me to be. Sorry, I'm going to silence that. So what is it that you want in your life? What do you want to bring through? What do you know is your path to bringing it through? No, to bringing something through. Your path probably lies in the thing that really stands in front of it. You go, I don't really want to touch that. I really don't want to go there. And that's the thing that's going to offer you the widest gate to your next best step, to ease, to an empowered state of living, to more fun than you thought possible, to more success than you thought possible, to more money coming in than you thought possible. And, the universe, if you're open, willing, and ready, will give it to you as much as you can understand and accept, one piece at a time. It doesn't have to roll over the top of you. It doesn't have to bowl you over. So what does that look like for you? What is that thing that you secretly have always wanted to do, to be, to become? Because that's where you want to focus. You may have to only focus on, I wonder what it would be like if, I wonder if this is really possible. I am open, willing, ready to be guided. What does that look like for you? Okay, one more wild woman wants to come through. Love the wild woman rising. In case you haven't heard me quote this, in 2009, the Dalai Lama said, the Western woman will save the world. Girlfriends, that was a charge that I was willing to take on. Gather your loyalties. Get with your tribe. Go with those who support you. Release, if you can't move out of a situation that isn't supporting you, release them in your heart and your mind. Put a wall between you and them if they are there tearing you down. Put it in your mind, your heart. No longer focus. One of the gals that I work with, that works with me too, at one point had some stuff happen. And she literally went, I don't hear you. When you speak to me with that kind of disrespect, I no longer hear you. And she just walked away. And when they tried again, later they came back and said, why aren't you talking to me anymore? She was, because I do not hear you. You came at me triggering something before, and I thank you for that, because then I can release that. But until you journey with me in respect, then I can't hear you. That's a choice we make, an energy we can stand in. It is all right for you to protect you. It is all right for you to care for you with the same kind of care and grace you give others. And you are the best advocate for you to do that. So consider what it is that you want to bring in this world, what it is you've been guided to bring in this world, and what it is that makes you go, I'm not really sure about that. I don't really know how to do that. How can you? I'm open, willing, and ready to receive the next best step. That one thing. Maybe it's a class. Maybe it's a community ed class. One of the gals that went to Guatemala with me came to my community ed class, and she said when that class came up, it was like this knock on me going, you need to go to this class. And when I walked in and I saw you, it was, this is your next mentor. And a lovely soul, and a lovely soul who has endured great heartache and issues in this life, and yet has pushed through and created a career of assisting others and helping others. And she does it in such a beautiful, lighthearted, joyful way. And yet those are the things that her immediate family has really tried to drum out of her. And as a group that went to Guatemala, we are such a connected group now. And they have just been supporting one another, as well as me and each, I mean, just beautiful. You can create that here. You can take a group to Guatemala. You can go with me to the next trip in Guatemala, which is the end of January. Maybe a trip to Ireland in July. What is it you want to bring through this world? Gather your loyalties, put walls up to those that seek to tear you down. That beautiful, gentle, loving card right there. Those that love you will support you. Those that love themselves and want to stop you will try to tear you down. Assertiveness is different than aggressiveness, but sometimes when you assert your boundaries, which a lot of times those of us who have grown up as light workers and way showers and been willing to mold ourselves to be, don't have boundaries. One of my mentors said to me, and these things will come out of her mouth just flippantly, well, you don't really have any boundaries. And I went, what? What do you mean I don't have boundaries? And I had some very specific boundaries about specific things in life, but it was just a way, and it wasn't a criticism. It was just, she observed that her boundaries were much bigger than mine. And the truth is, I felt at that time, and I still feel, it's like she had issue with the person that we were talking about, that I didn't have those issues with some of the things this person was doing. But it was something I took to heart and went, do I need to enforce different boundaries? And then someone stepped in that showed me that, yeah, I had to put a wall up with them because of how they were behaving with me. And it was like, okay, I see, there are different areas. So life is just a learning process. There is no endpoint. You can resist showing up the way the universe wants you to show up, or you can show up in all your power and be willing to break through the walls that are holding you in. Open that garden gate. Be willing to step into the newness of initiation of the power that you hold, being shown that power. Because again, as I've said a few times, you are powerful AF. Own that. Seek the guidance that is there and be willing to step into that at any given time. And you're only going to ask for your next best step, because that's a whole lot less overwhelming. I think we are complete for today. Great practice today. 10 things you are thankful for, especially if you're struggling. And sometimes it can be as basic as, I can see, I can walk, I can talk. I have a phone. I have the ability to communicate, all of that. So use the basics, build your vibration to a higher level, and that way you can receive more insights and guidance. You don't have to be in the depths of despair. Shedding pure love and joy for a minute. If you're bummed out and you're heavy, set your timer for a minute or 2 minutes. Shed pure love and joy on everything you see around you, anything that comes to your mind. Everything is energy. It does not have to be a person. So consider what that looks like for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage, on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.